Well, this series is certainly proven to go the distance as we just saw Mirage close out. It was a comeback map for eUnited as they took control of it and tied the series up at 1-1. Now we get prepared to jump onto our final map, which is going to be a rematch from yesterday's matchup between these two teams. It's on to Cash to settle things. The winner moves on into the playoff bracket tomorrow, and sadly for the loser, the road will end right here.
It's got to be the best end to a series that we could have with these two teams, right? A map that both of them like to play. After each of them having their own home map advantage and looking very good on their respective picks. So I'm looking forward to this. I think we heard in the green room that there is a high potential for this to go 30 rounds. I can't wait to see if that actually happens. And just as you mentioned too, there's not a lot of slow rounds as well. It's fast paced all the way through. They definitely don't stand around and wait for 30 seconds like some teams will, and always get right into the action.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, we are getting all the players set up and them sat down after their quick break between the maps. And as soon as we have them all ready to go, we'll get through the knife round real quick, and then it's time to dive into the game and see which of these two teams will be the better on Cash. After all, it's been a long series so far here. Both teams definitely showing us their strengths. eUnited bringing it back, of course, on the second map. But it all comes down to this third and final map. We'll get to see the conclusion of this series. Dragonfly hopefully showing us some potential with the op once again here. Ace definitely improving his own game on the op. And then when it comes down to the clutch players, Dapper really took over, especially on the CT side on that last map. And I expect him to do the same thing here now that it's a repeat from yesterday. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more from Dazzle too, along with Stone once again having some good individual performances himself.
It's crazy to see how Stone was able to turn his performance around in Mirage and just go from, I think it was like basically an 0-6 start, 0-1-6 start to coming back to top fragging for his team, like moving into the second half and just recovering like he was never playing badly to begin with. So that's an important I think way to measure how confident someone is. And some people who are very momentum-based as players feel like they don't get kills early on, that it's just not their day to get kills. You know, they just feel it's almost spiritual for them. You know, it's just like they kind of enslave themselves to that thought. But to be able to be better than that and realize that consistency is in your own hands is a strong quality to have at such a young age. So that's a good sign for Fragsters, who will need that and more moving into map 3, Cash versus eUnited.
And Fragsters finally starting off on the T side here are going to be moving themselves, for the most part, just through the squeaky hallway to open things up. They're going to burst right out onto the site, hopefully surprise the guys from eUnited. eUnited do have a strong setup within the site this time around here. Ace, however, is going to be cornered right off the bat. Relic's the only one that's able to trade, and he can only get one just like that. Fragsters have found 4 out of 5 of the kills. And Dapper, nowhere to be seen, sadly. Way on the other side of the map. He doesn't have much of a hope of doing anything at all. Thankfully, he was one of the few players with a kit, but still this 1v4 is looking nigh impossible for him. And in fact, he's not even looking to contest at this point. Just hiding back towards CT, might even be saving at this point, if not trying to bait for an opening kill. As Fragsters will now more than likely take control of the opening pistol.
Squeaky Pops are terribly strong because they allow multiple players to get really close to the bomb plant zone on A. And those can be assisted if you have a way to take attention off of highway. So if you have someone as a terrorist coming over boost or out mid to just shoot a few bullets, then the highway guy who's on flex between mid and A will have his attention divided up between the two and probably will just peek that white box for a few seconds to let everybody out. And that's kind of all you need in a strategy like that. So now Fragsters are up 1-0. Pull out another pistol. Hopefully it won't be in vain. They move into an anti-eco where eUnited definitely feel very comfortable, as we've seen from them on multiple occasions.
United are going to just go for the usual force buy into the second round, though. Relatively heavy, not leaving a lot of excess cash at all on anyone except for Ace, and that is going to limit their buy quite a bit when they get to the fourth round if they do not, of course, get the actual upset here. They did manage to pull it off back on Mirage, though, so this is probably spurring their confidence forward a little bit. They're able to go for this somewhat risky second round force on Cash.
Bubsky here at mid in the watchtower. Dazzle's going to be listening. Dazzle planning his next move.
Tries to shift out there for a quick headshot on the CZ. It's not going to happen. In fact, he himself makes through coverage, so only does about 30 or so damage to him. Able to get out of there quite all right. Well, at least for that point in time.
Now, Stone's going to be flashing for the highway peak as they decide to aggress towards the A site. Grouping up an A main, running now, showing the bomb. throwing a Molotov and putting pressure on our default player, Relics, who is ready for it with a nice instant headshot onto Dragonfly, but immediately traded out.
It's good to see Refresh moving and kind of cleaning up the shop here. It's looking like, again, eUnited have run out of gas on this force by Dapper, the only one remaining standing. He's going to quickly go for a wrap back around to try and find that entry into A main. But as you can very much see, Bubsky is watching for that. Has his eyes gazed on it. It's not going to let Dapper through in that direction. He'll take another path, just going to head up towards the squeaky hallway, and I'm not even sure if he's going to continue this push. So he might just hold out here in the hallway and look for some paths on an exit. Also could just wait until the bomb actually explodes too and try to go in, see if there's a gun maybe waiting for him on the ground somewhere too, if he can pick that up. The options, regardless, are limited. The round will go to the Fragsters. They'll push ahead at 2-0. Dapper just trying to maximize the damage at this point.
Yeah, I think he was hopefully trying to find somebody who might have been lurking around at Squeaky and now just want to identify the exit point, but will happily take this Deagle into the next round instead of spending the extra $700 on another one, because that would be wasteful.
Absolutely.
Recycling. Learned that in grade 2.
He's going to keep that in check. It's armor as well, so a little bit easier to fight in the open with that. Don't necessarily need it with the Deagle because you can just play close to the walls. But it does give him a little bit more freedom, as the rest of his teammates are going to be on a full eco this time around. And Fragsters know it. They've got 2 MAC-10s in the buy. They're going to go for a quick run through the B halls, and this actually works out great for them because eUnited kind of gamble stack towards mid of all places. And this will leave the site pretty much undefended, giving Fragsters a free walk-in. Of course, a relatively free third round as a result of that. There's the nades, and the realization will soon be coming in from eUnited. As indeed, Fragsters do get the bomb down, completely conflict-free. And eUnited will not really have much of a choice but to try and position for exits now.
Yeah, this is one of the rounds where you dry run it, you don't actually have any opponents, which is perfect. They also hang on to a lot of this utility and make sure, they aren't going to have to go up against some kind of retake, but it is a bunch of CTs who have not a lot to lose that might want to prod into the site late. Definitely makes sense now to use these MAC-10s up. If they die, Ston and Refresh will just upgrade to AKs.
Ston's going to have to pull away from that situation, though, as he takes a little bit more damage than he bargained for. Relics hoping for one on the USP back up on top, but he's picked off by Refresh. And overall, again, it's looking like it's going to be a relatively clean exit from the Fragsters. They all make it out. No deaths amongst them. It's looking like it's going to stay that way. It's keep everyone alive before they get into this opening gun round.
All right. This is what we started off with, the first gun round of the third map. I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to see what the setup is for the Fragsters. It's obviously actually a bonus round for them, so they won't even be opping. eUnited, on the other hand, have to kind of decide, and I think they realize that they aren't going to go up against an oppa Fragsters. Fragsters almost certainly going to hang on to their MAC-10s. Might have been a way of baiting them into keeping that setup and not giving up too much here. Dapper's going to get mollied out. Very standard set of affairs so far, as checker control looks to be aggressed upon. Solon hasn't gone flashed in, but just runs through, leaving Moose all alone.
Completely unaware, sadly, Dapper is, so he gets knocked out with not even a chance for the trade. And even worse, Moose is pushed into a corner far too quickly. Refresh knocks him out. Bubsky even holding out on the vents as well, aware of the fact that we could see a quick rotate from Relics, but it's looking like it's going to be called off along with the rest of the retake. And sadly, eUnited just cannot put up the numbers, nor do they have the intel necessary to move in and retake the B-bomb site, so they will let Fragsters take it, and they're going to continue actually to have a nice clean start to this map at 4-0.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what they wanted to happen. The 2 MAC-10s both got kills for maximum kill reward, and then they take the M4s, so they convert them without having to upgrade. They kill those 2 players, they win the round straight up, they get the bomb down as well. United can't go for the retake. They won't even get exit frags in this situation, most likely, so yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much as good as it could go for Fragsters, apart from killing everybody. That sucks, Blue. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, that really does hurt. For United, at least they get to buy again. I don't think they have enough money to get, like, a lot of stuff. They actually can't even drop M4s.
With the drop from Mosses, more than likely.
Yeah, more drop from Mosses. They want to be nice about it. CZ is also not a bad option. Yeah, I mean, okay, so here they're actually going to have minimal investment, so the players that stayed alive aren't even going to get maximum utility, head armor, and a kit. They're just going to have a couple of people upgrade pistols, and then that way they're all even, and they still have a pretty good chance to win. I like this.
Oh, look at this, though. Refresh is going to be walking right up into the halls. And Ace waiting for him along with Dazzle. Dazzle's down, but Ace still in the fight. Not for long, though. Bubsky's there for the trade, and Fragsters win out the opening battle once again. And now they can start to move for site control. It's really only going to be Relic standing in their way. If he dies, you can bet that Dapper and Moose are going to end up saving. They were the players of pistols as well. All three of the rifles get dropped. The pistols, interestingly enough, are the ones that stay alive and will now have to fall back to save.
It was the A players who were confused about how last round they lost to the oncoming B rush, and now it's the A players that understand how it all went down the way it did. As that was a very intimidating approach into Squeaky from Refresh, that opening kill, and everybody contributing frags across the board for the Fragsters. I mean, this was a very legitimate round to win. I mean, this was not an anti-eco. It was 3 rifles. You know, eUnited had every intention of closing this out with a W and couldn't do that.
Dapper at least is going to be able to net 1 kill for his team here. Technically 2 as he's taken down Dragonfly. Refresh fell earlier from the trade that happened back in the Squeaky hallway, but he's now going to get pinched. He's got to be careful. As the spot players went up behind him, he's surrounded from all sides, and even a molly goes onto the ground too. They really wanted to secure that kill, even though it was just a pistol. But they do get the job done. No saves at all are carried in from eUnited, but they do have a full rebuy coming in regardless.
At least they have that going for them. 2 ops. 2 ops on the board. Dapper's going to be picking one up. I think we saw Dapper at V last round. Don't know if he has a spawn forward. It's actually going to be the only player to go out to the left side and potentially pick a main, or I think play just standard on site. Relics gets caught off guard, going from trying to reposition from the sandbags, and Ace answers back on the right side of the map.
So down to another even engagement here. Dazzle's going to continue to try to push forward up towards the A site too. He knows that he's pushing in for control right now, but just decimated by a Refresh as he finally gets himself an engagement. Torben's going to look for a little bit more here too from behind the forklift, but no, he's going to be completely destroyed by Dapper. The site's still under the control of Fragsters, so the plant is going to be happening regardless, but they don't have the most secure position right now because Dapper has control of the upper rafters, and in a second, they're probably going to lose forklift as well. Bubsky and Dragonfly both stacked together. The player at A main more so watching out for a push through the smoke. Oh, Dragonfly, he's got his sights locked on someone, but failed to account for the failing smoke. So Dapper is going to get the pick off on him instead. And Bubsky looking to turn this around. He's already got 2. The weapon switch almost screws him over, but Bubsky's still able to put together that final kill anyway. Ends up with a massive 4K on the round, and Fragster's 6th round overall.
Okay, he's got to stop doing that, but that's actually a signature move. All the crazy moments of Bubsky is him quick switching, either dying or getting a kill that he probably shouldn't have, and here's one of those situations. So, yeah, that's probably a bad habit, but a pretty great 3K, and you could see there would be the instant trade should have been there. The peak was right away, which is exactly what you wanted from eUnited. Oso definitely looking a little bit worried here. I mean, you probably should for eUnited. This is not a map they should be looking like this on. And leading into the latter half of that retake, I mean, eUnited had a good chance to win. It did come down to mechanical ability, but in the early round, there's 2 opening kills that went the way of Fragsters. It felt like they were taking advantage of what appeared to be, you know, sluggish decision making on the part of eUnited. And you wonder if they're not just registering how quickly Fragsters want to move on them. You know, they're kind of like rotating into their spots. Where like Relics came out of sandbags, just caught off guard, and Dazzle didn't expect him to be all the way across the site like that as he kind of creeped his way in. So it seems like Fragsters are just a little bit more sharp at the moment, and that general just more sharpness, probably better English for that. Just a general ability to show how they're a little bit more sharp is clearly edging out each of these trades, which is so important.
So Fragsters will actually take a little bit of damage early on there because of the aggressive nade spree that went off over the top boost. Dragonfly, Torben, and Bubsky all suffered from that. Total amount of damage, definitely over 100 in this case, or if not over pretty close to it. Stone looking for his own opening kill to turn the team's luck around, though. Definitely seems to have an inkling that something might have lurked towards Sunroom. Doesn't have it confirmed it just yet. Moose is patiently waiting, not moving an inch, it seems. But Dragonfly, again, striking first back through the mid opening as he finds Dazzle by the white box and picks him off. Not a lot of movement besides that coming out from the Fragsters, however, as they are still holding it to the default. Dragonfly getting an opportunity for a second, but the shot does not ring true this time. That white box player will stay alive, at least for now. Relic's actually playing into that position. He sees the push coming out from mid, decides not to further contest the situation, and it's way back up to the A site as the 4 remaining CTs are now split 2-2 across the map. Fragsters taking control of mid, And now a main, which means we are going to see that split go into the site. And it's going to be on Ace and Relics to hold the fort with just pistols.
The offense decides to make his move. Relics goes 1 for 1 at the very minimum. It's not too bad. Ace with the whiteout. Gets some good damage off on a highway player. Another good bit on Bubsky, but it's 2 kills that are unhad. And it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you get the 90 ADR in, that's 5K of investment. It's still completely valid.
Plant is just going to go down on the ground. There was only a couple seconds left, about 4 remaining. The plant finally happened there. And of course, these low HP players are going to be very delicate. A single shot on 3 of them will knock him out on the Deagle there. The Dapper carries. Moose has got to do a little bit more work to take out Dragonfly, but Torben and Bubsky are still a 1-shot to him as well. Refresh is going to be the hardest target. But where are they? We're not seeing them moving too much. Moose finally takes the duel, but sadly crosses against the spray from his opponent. Dapper finishing off Refresh. He's got 2 more players that are very low. He's sadly not going to get a chance to win the round, but he can at least look for 1 more trade here against Dragonfly. Right by Z, sees the foot, tries to go for the flick. Not going to work out this time, and Dragonfly knows he can't win in just a normal battle against him. Brought down very low. Bubsky is the 1 HP after the explosion. Dapper unfortunately runs out of ammo at probably the worst possible time, so both of those teams will end up surviving the round.
Now, certainly that's a round where I feel like if you could see the health bars, like just have them. I'm sure that it was communicated that a lot of damage was dealt to the highway guy and the guy at forklift, but if you could just see those health bars, I feel like in the 2v4 you find a way to work your way into the site and actually go for it. And I wonder if United could have actually pulled it off, considering how low HP everybody was on Frag. Now, into the 8th round, 0-7. A full buy-up. Probably one of the last full buy-ups that we'll see before they start forcing Falmuses because they need to put rounds on the board. And the setup is pretty standard. Everything's kind of calmed down. Ace is here at quad. Has line of sight on A main. Boost is being watched by the terrorists. Congregation of the CTs now up highway into the site. Dragonfly doesn't have anything to smoke him off. Flash pop to assist the rotation, but he's going to see a Molotov land it fence and realize that he might have some enemies coming to his site soon.
Nothing able to get into the site, though. That's the problem. And Dazzle now picking off Refresh to the door, back by Squeaky. We're just prepping up to try and toss an utility, but for the most part, it looks like Fragsters are actually going to fall back. Dragonfly finally hits an entry, though, finding Ace, but the play might no longer be even heading to this site. Got the bomb along with Bubsky moving back over towards mid. The bomb itself heading into the B hulls now. Dragonfly really just trying to keep the attention drawn on the site, and currently it's working. But the attention is starting to shift back the other way now. Specifically, we can see Dapper moving towards the other side. Dragonfly continuing to find impact on A, and that is going to pull Dapper right back over towards Truck. He could die to this, actually, if he peeks out too far. Tries to use the flash to assist, but that flash is not going to impact Dragonfly at all. So Dapper will remain hidden for now because of that. And finally, it does look like the Fragsters are ready to go for the final execute onto this B site, but it's a little bit too slow, and there's not enough utility. Stone gets picked off by Moose. There's the flash we needed to see, but now Dapper's here. He's finally arrived on that rotate from the A site. Bubsky really left alone here. Dragonfly is far too well away to be able to help out with this. Only 5 seconds left in the round anyway, so we're just going to head into the squeaky hallway and call for a save here. Finally, after 7 rounds straight for the Fragsters, eUnited are on the board.
And it's, again, a round where they put a lot of investment into it, so retaining the double up is huge. The thought that they didn't have to throw a Hail Mary to win this round. It was just like they had all the resources and utility that they wanted to pull it off, and they actually did. That's all a very good sign, and again, winning it with the majority of players alive is also just very important, economically speaking, but Fragsters have a lot of money to work with. They have options too. Truck boost to kick it off, to spot for the cross to white box. No one will be seen, but it looks like they're going for a boost at mid. Head is spotted and taken off. Staff goes down. And it's going to be understood that there's somebody there to cross back, but Bubsky doesn't go for the spam, instead falls back.
Oh, right into the trap, sadly, so that brings us back down to the 4v4. Fragsters quickly looking to follow it up with an execute. They still need to set up for it here. It's really only Ace defending the site. United has a lot of presence back at mid and Z, so they're going to need to adjust that quickly. Fragsters getting the time to do it, though, and Ace sinks another shot here. Knocking out Torben now as Fragsters fall to just 3 players remaining. Relic's almost getting caught by that flashbang, but he's able to get inside of the smoke in time, and now picks up another kill, knocking out Dragonfly. Bubsky remains alone here in the 1v4. Picks up 1 kill for his squad finally. It's a chance at a second, but he can't find the connection onto the headshot there. Thankfully, he has plenty of time. Still 53 seconds remaining, but Dapper will swing out for the fence lane, knocking out Bubsky. putting a second round on the board for the eUnited squad.
All right, then. We're seeing the recognition of the pattern of Fragsters going for a quick map control and then using that as somewhat of a fast fake and hitting a site right after. And eUnited being more well aware of this and just adapting immediately, having all those rotations come in and causing confusion as to whether or not it's even an op or a rifler because they had so many people going on or taking position at quad. And now Ace has moved over to the B site, spots the corner. Spots off in the distance, or off in the corner, Dragonfly's shoulder, and is able to fall back as well from this position. And again, the reason that he's able to see him first is just because he's farther away from the angle that they're fighting on.
Still trying to play out towards mid too. He's got to swing wide though because of the Molly positioning. So he ends up backing away from that fight. He had an angle to Ston, but decided not to take the fight. It's too high risk for him, especially since he's up against the op. Torben, because of this, will be able to move in and take quick mid control by the Cubby. Their staging ground, but Ace, sadly for them, still has presence inside of Z. But the good news is, it doesn't look like he's realized Torben's gone over boost. Oh, it's not even going to be Torben that gets the kill, though. Bubsky, wild peek from mid, nets him the kill. And now Torben can jump back in over by Z as he knocks out Relics. It's Dazzle to swing on top highway, however, that finds the trade back onto Torben as eUnited maintain a man advantage. And now, to a certain degree, they've got the Fragsters trapped.
Yeah, they know there's 1B, however, because of that man that was in the back of Z, and he's got to be worried about the fact that someone could potentially sneak in, so it's going to leave Dapper alone to anchor the site. Smoke goes down late in the round, which is really nice for him, and finally, help has arrived. Moose from the skybox with the AWP, and Dazzle here in the vent as well. Means that Refresh is the only man left alive. 1v3, and not much hope. United close it out. Very confident rotations.
Fragsters already calling for a timeout after just 3 rounds in a row lost to eUnited here as we're looking at a almost identical situation to what happened on our last 2 maps here. One team, for the first time ever, it is Fragsters that open up strong and get the lead going strong for them at the beginning. But eUnited, same as we saw on the last 2 maps from Fragsters, find what was going wrong, quickly flip it the other way, and now have a streak going for themselves. Fragsters want to stop this before it becomes an issue, so they take the pause a little bit early since they still have all 4 of them.
I feel like what they, what younger players definitely need more than anything else is the Coach Carter type talk. They're just like, be yourselves, do what you do. You're faster. You like to play fast, and that means that you should adapt in that way as well. And we're kind of seeing United open up in a sense where they're being a lot more confident about the way they rotate and how they get into sites to defend against site takes, and they're, I think, not overthinking rounds. That if that Fragsters aren't overthinking themselves, they're taking rounds quickly, and United are responding accordingly. Centers and nades both ways at B. Smoke Molotovs and flashes going down just to make sure that no one pushes, and for the Fragsters, making sure that United have to hold and wait.
It's going to be Fragsters more than likely just diving into this site, however, especially now that they got the opening kill going in their direction. Ace has gone down. Dazzle's got to flip the odds, and he does just that. Brings us down to a 4v4, stops the A main push as well. He's going to buy more time for the rotate. Sadly, the plan still is going to happen. But Dazzle holds on for 1 more kill before getting traded by Ston. Now Relic stuck behind a smoke wall. Can't do anything right now, at least until that Molly fades away. He's going to be up against the op. Ston's given a chance to get the kill, but no. Relic finds the headshot and knocks him out. Down to Bubsky, and Bubsky will be dead soon too. He's dead to Dapper. Refresh, the last man standing, looking for a 1v3 clutch, but he can't even get back to the bomb in time. Moose takes him down, and eUnited will get yet another round. That streak's still running strong as they're up to 4 now. Yeah,
they're really starting to come alive, and it's just all kinds of rounds that they're winning now. You can see the mood is just turned on its head. He's standing up. He's fixing all his teeth. That's good. That's good. So, now we can have what could potentially be more of a close game for, again, a 0-7 start. So ever since that double op setup that Fragsters haven't really figured out how to break, United have been able to stay strong. And I think that if they do end up losing a round, I imagine they'll go right back to this. And for good reason. Fragsters on a Galil. Sign of poverty. The first sign of poverty in Counter-Strike. And oh my god, it doesn't matter. They are too hungry. Might be poor, but they certainly can still frag as they move in and get 2 very fast kills, dropping all that utility as well. Thankfully, the other 3 players still plenty amongst them themselves, and Fragsters have to use, well, sadly, quite a bit of their small utility just to get out in the mid. A lot of flashbangs being tossed out there. They still have at least 2 smokes and a molly, however, so definitely still workable for a site take, as they're going to put the brakes on here for a second and analyze the situation before they make any further moves. Just focusing on the mid control. They are lined up to more than likely go through vents into the B site, but that can still easily change to an A play. And a majority of their players stacked up in mid for the most part. top highway control for Refresh. It's going to be very important for them. I mean, this position, you basically don't even have to move from it, whether you're going to take A or B, or whether your team is going to work towards either side of the map. A main control is going to be big, though. Ace is inside of it. That means shoulder peek will probably not pay off. The jump, however, might catch him off guard. Nice movement out into the site.
Ace still catches it and even expects the highway push as well, knocking out Refresh. He's lower now, however, so he's got to be careful. Thankfully, the smoke over by Fork saves his life, but up comes Bubsky from highway. Is going to knock out Ace finally and gives that site control over, and the CTs will also lose the even fight here. Dapper's got a chance to flip it around, but no, Bubsky wins out yet another duel here. Gets his second on the round, knocking down Dapper and leaving Moose alone to attempt the 1v3.
An unlikely scenario. He's got all the utility in the world, but just no mobility because of this AWP. And it's a big risk to try to give this up. Again, they want to go back to the double op setup almost certainly. It worked so well for them in the past. And even if that huge play from Fragsters, where Ace just looked so damn good with his movement and those 2 op shots, I mean, that was kind of all they had in that entire round.
So Moose is going to continue to hold back in this position. He'll remain safe. He's going to be able to carry that out through into the next round. Let's see what the team's looking in terms of their money build up here. No, they should have just enough to be able to go for a force play, especially since Moose is going to be able to drop an M4 as well. So I think they'll be able to go for a force here. Might decide against it though. The money's kind of at the breaking point. So we'll see how they decide to play this. Oh, and that's an interesting buy from Moose. Instead of dropping to the rifle, he throws his own op over to Ace. Again, that's going to be pretty obvious drop. But instead buys another one for himself.
Definitely a key point. Ace going to actually move in front of this Molotov, which is kind of the aggression that you need to stay unpredictable, but there is a player coming up close. He waited for a flash, but it was just a moment too long, and Ston is now going to get assisted to push even further in. Dapper goes down, the only support in B, and this is the entire site compromised.
Ston knocking out Dapper, and that might be an early save call already, down to a 5v3. They have 0 utility to get back into the site with 2 flashbangs on Moose. That's going to be nothing. Another player falling here as well as Relics goes down, so that's it. They're done in this round. And it is going to be a number 9 up on the board soon for the Fragsters as they keep their own momentum. Even though that streak from United was looking impressive, it doesn't go the distance, and Fragsters will still maintain a decent advantage now because of it.
Critical few moments here as we move into one of these last rounds, just because I think they, again, want to try to hang on to that double lop. That round could be looked at as a kind of a write-off in the sense that it was just a 1 moment difference between Ace being able to turn around and have a fair fight on that on Ston pushing towards B, and Ston winning the fight like he did. Some things you've just got to take in stride, especially in a game like Counter-Strike that is so fast. And they at least maintain this op and the rifle. For Fragsters, it's nice. They had a strong lead. They gave up the 4 rounds, but now have brought it back. So many bomb plants. Almost every single round, the bomb has gone down in this game. Just allowed them to maintain a really strong economy.
It's running United. Sadly, their economy is going to have to hold back for a couple of moments. As the Fragsters will take another big advantage here and more than likely be able to shut down this near anti-eco. Unless the rifle and up find some serious firepower here. To work with. Kill out, they're gonna go. Oh, and immediately stunned as a flick to the one and done corner there to find Relics. A great read and a greater sight take that's done all by him. He's even looking towards heaven to try and find the quick trade onto Moose, the quick pickup onto him. Able to really get an advantage. In fact, he's gonna get hyper aggressive about it, jumping up all the way on top of the box. Dazzle, meanwhile, lurking to the outside. Well, it stops just when he needed to. If he goes even a couple more steps further, Dragonfly does catch him. Actually does end up getting Moose over to the other site, but Dazzle wins the fight outside of A main. Sadly, Refresh was right behind Dragonfly, and he pretty quickly trades out for his own teammate, leaving just Ace, and a nice little tap from Ston there. Gets him a 4th kill on the round. He just mops up shop on B. They don't even need the plant this time. Yeah,
he just keeps getting more and more aggressive. He's just Beastmaster, right? This is just his passive. just farming the kills and getting stronger by the round. And again, he's using it and taking his efforts and talent over towards B every single time, turning an entry into what was almost an ace there. Excellent 4K. And he's going to be right back to it. because of that, you know, eUnited can never feel comfortable playing one in the site, which weakens the entire map, especially just giving up that much information before the round's even begun.
Fragsters already out in mid. Dazzle tries to make a push inside of A-main, but it does not go the way they would have liked. And it wasn't just him either. He did have a teammate with him. Ace was supposed to push in. However, their smoke did not seem to be in the correct position, or at least it was thrown too deep. As soon as they peek out, the Opera is ready to take the battle. However, the luck will change in the B halls as Dapper, although he gets dinked down to 12, he's still able to pick up a trade and knock out Stawn early on. That's a crucial player to be eliminating. They clear out the B halls too, but their luck sadly will not last forever. Bubsky finds another pickup onto Moose on the inside. It's remaining even though, but the problem for United is they keep losing so much health from these fights. They're going to be very easy to knock down once Fragsters actually commit to an execute, which may more than likely end up happening relatively soon here. Got good posture up positions towards mid. They're going to be able to have Refresh pretty much just walk right in. But instead of sending it to A, where they just threw quite a bit of utility, it's looking like the two others are going to move through those B halls instead. Try and go for a sight tick there. Looks may have just spotted it, although no sign of an extra rotate from Ace just as of yet. They're going to need him too. He's the highest HP player on the team. Dapper playing into the headshot position. Going to have to try to do his best from here. But even so, he could very easily get knocked out. Just a spot right there, and there you go. Refresh picks up an easy headshot, knocking out Dapper, and the B site is just open for the taking. Refresh even watching for the rotates to come in through vent as he knows the CTs have presence towards middle.
Yeah, looking at multiple ways to play this. He hears them elephant footing through the vent, and he kills them both. Really great round from Refresh. That first entry, and then the two final kills as well. And Fragsters end the half with an incredibly strong performance. 11-4 after giving up 4 in the middle, and it seems like, wow, this is a game that looked like United were about to come back into it, and Fragsters just like stopped them before it got too drastic. I mean, this is suddenly not even almost a half to, like, I don't know. They need the pistol. They need the pistol. They need the first 5. You know, this is almost as bad as it gets.
Saw the singular 4-round streak that showed up there from eUnited, but that was it. After that, it was a complete shutdown from Fragsters, mainly coming at the hands of the big players. But it's not just Stawn and Dragonfly anymore. A lot of players showed up. Bubsky definitely having a good performance on that half, along with Refresh as well. Torben sadly not seeing a whole lot, only picking up 3 kills in the first half, but it doesn't matter. Fragsters get the job done anyway and have the most advantage that we've seen so far out of the 3 maps at 11-4.
So again, level of comfortability here for both teams as we move into the second half, which is nice to know. But Fragsters certainly going to be feeling confident. Fresh going to be picking up the kits. Everybody else having half armor. And Torben, the last one to decide, yeah, he's going to grab half armor as well. Not uncommon for teams to just go full half armor across the board in a lot of these pistol rounds now, not even picking up a kit sometimes. Relic's going to have smoke flash, and it's probably going to be a quick B-pop.
United are going to go for their quick push over here into the B site. They will have to worry about a pretty quick flank against them coming in for the vents, but they watch for that. Doesn't matter though. Bubsky picking up a kill. Stawn now finding 2 for himself as well. Dapper and Ace down to the ground. Relic's next to fall, and Moose is all that stands. A 1v5. Fragsters taking dominant control of the pistol yet again as everyone stays alive and nearly everyone contributes. This time around, Fragsters go up to 12, just 4 away now from a playoff spot tomorrow.
Yeah, smiles on all their faces as they can really taste victory at this moment. And it was a great flash to get into the B site. It even cleared that small angle that was being held from CT to push him back. But after that, they really couldn't make any progress, and they just needed to make sure that they crowded it. Also, not knowing where the smoke was, I think was a problem for them. Helps give you confidence, not have to worry about a crossfire when you can just have the smoke down and run up headshot.
Good spam found early on, but it's Bubsky that gets the opening kill, finding Moose. Spam, of course, working out well for eUnited, just not enough to get close to a kill. They just bring in Bubsky and Stawn, knocking off about 1/3 of their HP each. 8 damage going to the Dapper too, in fact. Stawn gets a great angle. It's Torben actually finish off the kill, however, but he's done great damage to Relics too. Stawn this is, and has pushed him back. He peeks again. More than likely going to be a dead man, and there you go. Stawn picking up the kill. Ace all that's left. He just has a Glock, but gets a kill with it, actually. Knocks out Bubsky. About 60 HP takes off of him there. Not looking to do anything, but he has been found out by Dragonfly. So he makes the push through useless and finishes off the round, putting Fragsters up to 13.
Yeah, and Fragsters continuing to show improvements and get ecoed less and less, or even get less close to being ecoed as well. So United have to decide how much they want to spend. I don't think it's going to be a lot. It's actually just going to be Glocks for the most part. One flash on Relics. Ace with a P250. what is the eco strat? I like Squeaky Pops quite a bit. One flash in A main, simple, it's clean, is effective, and again, it's because this this door is so close to the bomb plant zone. Bubsky has to have his attention divided though. He's going to have an easy spray down from the highway.
Coming in for Bubsky, gets him 2 kills now. A third being found by Dragonfly up the highway. The plant does come in, but the volley's going to burn out an additional player, and it's not too much extra trouble for Refresh to finish off the job. Another very clean anti-eco from Fragsters. Money's building up to that very dangerous point again here, and it is going to continue to do so as players are going to be sitting on anywhere between 4 and 7K getting into the opening gun round.
And the Strawless Academy, I mean, Fragsters really turning up here. So we need that region to be any more strong.
Yeah, really.
Come on, guys.
Danish, yes, just slowly taking over. More and more teams start to show up out of the woodwork into the pro scene here. Fragsters proving might be the next one, especially if they can push forward. Only past this match, but through the semifinals and the grand finals for them too, if they bring that type of performance to the table. Just 2 more rounds away now from claiming this series. Really just have to get past this gun round, and the final round should be an easy task as eUnited would be forcing into it. They should have spent pretty much all their cash on this round, and indeed they did. Just a couple hundred left on each remaining player for eUnited after the buys here. Indeed, it will be a low buy for them, and look at this move from Ston right in through the mid doors. Out as well into Useless, where he picks up 2, now 3 kills as he goes back towards mid, finding Ace. Relics and Moose, the last 2 standing here. And they've lost the bomb, even worse off as well. Still sitting back by their spawn. They're going to have to try and at least go to trade Ston if they want to get back into this round. But they're looking at a 2v5 now. Maybe even a 1v5 as Moose is going to take some extra damage playing into the hallway. Ston does miss on the upshot, so they get back bomb control at the very least. But this is only the start of a very, very long road to recovery in this round.
Yeah, Ston is pervasive. He's just like poison in the water. He's just all over the place, killing everything. Just eating out the middle of the map with his pushes. You really can't analyze that if you're eUnited. You know, we've got to stop that flank. We've got to trade that kill. We know where he was last spotted, and yet he's able to come out and do 350 damage.
Fresh still sitting over here behind the quad box, waiting for the push to come back in, but he may not even need to jump into the action as Bubsky does it all from the top catwalk. Finishes off the last 2 players and puts Fragsters on a match point now. 1 more round, and they will move on into the final playoff bracket tomorrow.
Really is a kid in a candy shop. And his brother is no slouch either, but here it is, that B push, the attempt at a trade, and again, last spotted right there, but the missed shot, and he goes down. Bargain basics buy for eUnited, CZ, Mac-10s, Allele, you name it.
Dragonfly already picking up an opening kill too, and they've got strong presence in mid to counter out a push from eUnited. Good opening flash at least holds the Vents player back for a couple extra seconds, but Ston's still going to be able to jump back down. He's ripping him apart. It's just Relics left who will finally be able to trade against Ston, but that might be all he can get. Remember, he's just on a Mac-10 right now. There should be a rifle somewhere, but he can't even cross the top. Bubsky instantly headshots him out, and that's the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. Fragsters are going to take the series 2-1, and they'll move on into tomorrow and into the playoff bracket.
Yeah, and they're clearly jovial. Got our one man with the Danish flag excited, and for good reason. I mean, that's quite a stellar performance. One of the better teams at this event. They've just taken down and made their way to playoffs, and congratulations. Congratulations to Fragsters. An excellent performance. And Ston, man, he's unstoppable.
Great day for them so far. Had to take the long road to get here as well, losing their opening match to eUnited, going back down to the lower bracket, fighting back against Luminosity, and taking that opening series 2-1 to start up the lower bracket. And what a better way to make your way into the playoffs and to get revenge against the very team that sent you into the lower bracket. They knock eUnited out of the tournament, and although it's a good opening performance on land for eUnited to start this year off, sadly, their journey is going to end here, and Fragsters will be moving on.
These are a couple of teams that, you know, for their respective regions are kind of lesser known, you know, especially to the other regions. But for those of us in those regions, we know that these players are really good. And seeing them come together to go head-to-head was a really fun experience. And again, yeah, congratulations to Fragsters for just edging it out.
All right, guys, so Bach, along with the other analysts, are ready to go, so let's send it back over to them to break down the series.
Congratulations to Fragsters, a great series for them. They looked so incredibly good on Cash there towards the end. Is it perhaps that they just played them earlier on Cash and they knew what to expect, or was Fragsters just playing that much better than eUnited?
I mean, I think if you just flip the pistols the other way, I think that's the biggest thing from the game. Also, I just think that they probably gained more from getting to play a little more in the tournament than eUnited, just because they have less experience and they're even younger as players.
Yeah, and when it came down to Cash, I mean, the opening duels tell the whole story. I mean, they basically were flawless on opening duels. They never were down a man in any of the rounds. Everything they did worked, and once you're riding that kind of high, it perforates to the rest of the team. All you need is one player to be going off, and it just builds up for everyone else on the team. And you saw it. Everyone was getting a bunch of opening kills.
I mean, they just look so different too, and like all their players were taking initiative. Take you through the highlights while we talk. Like all their players were just going for things throughout the whole series. Like I think they looked a little hesitant yesterday. Didn't look like they were fully comfortable. Today, Staven just has no fear, dude. Like that guy will rush you in T-spawn to come get your buddy if you don't get to him fast enough. That kid is going places.
Yeah, and we did see their weakness on Mirage that we talked about in the pregame. Their CT side was very vulnerable to a lot of ace splits. It felt like eUnited kept doing the same thing over and over, and it just kept working. So that's something they're going to have to go to the drawing board and figure out how to fix. But we expected them to win Nuke. Cash was a 50-50 for us. We weren't really sure who was going to take that. And they got both pistols and got a lot of the opening duels in their favor, and kind of just rolled over them.
I mean, we were talking about it. I was in the audience watching the game, and I'd said, people were like, oh, yeah, well, you guys said Fragsters, and now eUnited's looking really good on Nuke. And I'm like, it's the CT side of Nuke. This is how the map plays out. Like, ultimately, it's the T side where you really get tested, and obviously eUnited did not have enough. It really was, for a little while, the battle of Dapper and Staven. Like, Dapper played out of his mind.
Yeah,
Dapper played so incredibly well. Multiple clutch plays. That one on Nuke was kind of wild, where he's dropping off heaven and he two-taps him in the head mid-air. Yeah. Like, that was an insane clutch, and we saw a lot of that, and you can actually see it in the numbers there. Dapper outperformed everyone.
Yeah, the most kills and the highest ADR. The problem is he got no help, basically, from any of his other teammates. Everybody else had a fairly average series overall. Dragonfly was actually a better performance statistically than Staven. I would say the younger brothers' frags were more impactful throughout the game. But I mean, we've now got them both on the board, both of them playing well. I think Dragonfly was the one that really struggled yesterday in the Cash game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think earlier when we interviewed Refresh, I believe it was, he mentioned that we just decided to play more loose and said we have better aim than all these guys in their previous match. I'm pretty sure they just had that mentality going in this, because it looked way more decisive in a lot of their moves.
And we do have Staven standing by for an interview as well. The young blood from Fragsters, congratulations on the victory, and hats off to you. You played out of your mind this whole tournament.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm impressed with your confidence at such a young age. How close are you to becoming, in your mind, maybe one of the top fraggers from your country?
It's hard to say. I think I have a lot of talent. Yeah, I don't know really, but I think I'm doing well.
You're gonna be modest. You're not gonna rank yourself up there in like the top 5. You know, you're not gonna give me a number. Nah. You're being modest.
Well, we'll have to find out later, I guess.
Yeah, off camera, we'll figure it out. We'll get your real word.
How long have you been playing CS in general? Not just CS:GO, but CS in general.
It must have been when I was around 6 and 7 years old. Counter-Strike source.
Listen, man, that's the thing. Nowadays, these kids, they start playing when they're 5. I didn't know what a computer was when I was 5. These guys are just gamers now.
That's crazy. I had a question. So going into Mirage, y'all had mentioned that your CT side was very weak. Y'all had a pretty rough CT side, but y'all started to adjust towards the end. What was the adjustment that y'all made to get those rounds?
I think that we thought that we should have played double op, but then we lost a couple of rounds, and then we decided just to play default and more loose, and then we got some rounds. But in general, our Mirage is really unstable. Sometimes we are good, and sometimes we are not so good, so it's hard to say.
And I'd say that mentality of playing more loose was that way throughout the whole series. Refresh mentioned earlier today in your previous matchup that y'all wanted to play more loose and just say, we have better aim than these guys, and just go in there and take aim duels. Was that the mentality for this best of 3 as well?
Yeah, I think that we are all aware that we are better aimers than them. Yesterday, we have something with our team. Like when we go into a lane and we play our first match, we are always really shaky, and we told ourselves that yesterday, and we had no worries that we should go into this day and win these 2 best of 3s. We were pretty confident, winning these.
What were your expectations coming to this tournament before? I mean, you did really well at BestNet Masters, but that was already a while ago. So not sure how that confidence carried over.
Yeah, when we got home from Bednets, we qualified for 2 DreamHacks, so we actually felt really confident going into this event right here. And if you look at the group, it's not like one of the best groups if you look at other DreamHacks because of the other star ladder going on right now. So the Heroic is also, like, we have Heroic, Luminosity and eUnited in our group, and I think that we thought that we could beat all 3 opponents. So we were pretty confident that we would go through the groups here.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and also hats off to you for being 16 and taking a post-match interview. I'm sure these guys can, relate to this. Most players don't want to do interviews, so the fact that you were willing to do it at, a young age, and not only that, you actually handled yourself well. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So an impressive series from Fragsters. They step up big, and a Danish team is going to be going through. That's now 2 Danish teams, and we still have 1 more that's still playing through that has a chance. So we could have 3 Danish teams playing in playoffs. Sort of. One's like a
Heroics.
Yeah, we'll give them. We'll give credit for the Danish, as they do have mostly Danish players.
But to be fair, 2 of those teams were kind of the maybe not the favorites that we said at the start. One of them was for sure. We said Space Soldiers was probably the other one we expected to go far. But I think Heroic would have been a close third for us if we had mentioned it. So they were in the talk of being one of the teams to take the title. So it's not really a big surprise to see 2 of those go through. But Fragsters is, I mean, I had high expectations of them, but maybe not winning the tournament, but they look pretty good right now.
I mean, they're going to hold on. So they got 2nd in this group. That means they play Rogue, right, in the semifinal, don't they?
I couldn't
What'd you
say
say?
up top.
Don't Fragsters play Rogue in the semifinal?
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
So I actually like Fragsters for that matchup. Like, they could actually very convincingly make the grand final, I think.
If they're going to take that one, they're going to need to start out hotter. They can't come into it cold on the first map, which has been a problem for them in general. Like,
I don't think that matters.
They started out a little cold in this series, and I think they did the same against Luminosity, and then they kind of picked up speed.
I don't think that matters. I don't think there's a single map that they can't win. What's a map they can't play against Rogue?
Overpass. They've already admitted to it being their
but that's their permaban.
Yeah, so we're not going to see it anyway. So I guess it's all water under the.
I think the only reason they would have to come in and start off really well is if there was a must-win map first. I don't think that's the case. I think they get a pretty good chance of winning tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team looks solid and they could go far.
Now, if you agree with our analysts, you can download the Strafe Esports app on the applicable store for your smartphone or mobile device, and you can vote on who you believe will take a series and interact with the community to also help you track scores and keep your eye on every game going on currently in Counter-Strike. We are going to throw things to a break, but when we come back, it will be Optic Gaming versus Space Soldiers to determine who will be moving on into the playoffs to join the others. We'll be back in a bit.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular